Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to have a drink and we're going to talk about bidets. That's not a lot of alcohol. I'm not a big drinker. In fact, the reason I drink during these videos is because I have alcohol sitting around my house. I'm a food blogger. And, you know, I got these great deals on alcohol to add to my blog. And then, because I'm not a big drinker, the alcohol wound up sitting around. And things like, for example, this is a Truly here. This was used in a previous video. This should have been drinking by November of 2022. I drank this almost 2 years after its freshness date. So I do have to say here that I shouldn't hoard alcohol. I don't entertain. I am drinking to give me something to do during this video so that I have to keep talking and in order to use up my my stock. In addition, for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from 4Ocean. 4Ocean pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. If you'd be so kind as to comment, like, and subscribe, you'll be helping me make the world better. Yes, I do buy these on my own, but I'm giving you an opportunity to make the world better for free. Savor that. Anyway. I sucked up a piece of ice. So, for a week or two, I had to take care of somebody who had certain health conditions that made it hard for them to clean themselves. And they requested I put in a bidet. This is not the traditional French bidet, which is its own thing. This is a bidet that hooks into your water line for your toilet, is screwed onto the toilet, and now you have something that it has two functions. One, it has a cleaning function. You can spray water over the nozzle. And then two, the other function is you can spray water into your rear end to clean it. Okay? This theoretically is superior to toilet paper as it has no carbon, or less of a carbon footprint, I guess. Except for the fact that I live in California and water is at a scarcity. In addition, this thing, I've had to adjust it several times because it has a tendency to leak. What am I stepping on? A pen. A pen. And, you know, so there was that. Also, it was hard to get it properly seated so that it wouldn't come loose. But once it was properly installed, I have to admit that the bidet, it's not a substitute for toilet paper. But I mean, you know, you can never be too clean down there, can you? I mean, look, dude, you can tell I'm a big dude. My family was a family of big dudes, big people. And our hindquarters tended to be pretty nasty, you know. And I can tell you there's many a time in my life when I've gone to the restroom and been like, you know, I don't feel so clean. And that's important, you know. When I was younger, when I was a young man, I used to use the restroom once a day. I have a bowel movement, number 2, once a day. And I got to the point where I would always do that before I showered because, you know, I didn't feel very clean. So now you've got this thing that if you have a non-clean problem, you can kind of wash down there, all right? And, yeah, you can really put a lot of force behind it. So if you have the kind of diet that doesn't include enough fiber, you can get out there and clean yourself. I do have to point out here that when you're done, you're not dry. So, not a complete substitute for toilet paper. You still need toilet paper. I guess you could sit there and drip dry, but I mean, maybe I don't know how to use the bidet properly. And the amount of pressure, the further you turn that nozzle, the more pressure you get. So it can be quite strong, but you know, it's just one of those things that in regards to the body, when we clean ourselves, we need to make sure that we're clean, and we need to clean ourselves regularly. And I'm going to grant you, I'm a person who suffers from depression. Depression can make it hard to shower, okay? And I mean, for that reason, I'm one of those people that every time I leave the house, I try to shower. Very rarely do I shower 2 or 3 hours before leaving the house. I almost exclusively shower directly before leaving. The last thing I do before going out anywhere, like to work or to the store, is generally to clean my body. And that's just my thing. So if I'm in one of those situations where I'm not leaving the house as much as I used to, then yeah. I mean, I remember back in one point I became unemployed. I was very depressed, and I think I went weeks without showering. I'm not sure. It's all kind of a blur. But I do remember that when I got really bad, you know, it's like I would have okay, this is the point where I toss my underwear and I just wear my pants or my shorts. And eventually that got to the point where it made the chair I was using stink, and I had to wash the chair I was using. So, you know, this bidet would have given me a much cleaner self. Although I do have to point out that at the time, I did not have air conditioning. And much of the problem was that I was just sweating all over the place. But, you know, I do think that the bidet probably should be something you should go and get. You know, it's an upgrade for your toilet. And, you know, an upgraded toilet is generally a good thing. We want our toilets to be upgraded and functional. In our world of, you know, you may have just eaten a lot of fast food tends to give you byproducts that are stickier and harder to pass and harder to keep yourself clean from. So, yeah, you know, unless you're a vegetarian or a vegan, I would probably say that a bidet is probably a great addition to your bathroom. On the other hand, only you could answer that question for yourself. Plus, I could install my bidet myself. Somebody bought it, it was there, therefore I put it in. It didn't take me very long, but I do recall I had to adjust it maybe 5 or 6 times before I got it 100% right, and that took maybe 5 days. So, yeah, you know, I would say bidet, good addition. I would not have paid for it myself, but since somebody paid for it for me, since somebody bought it for me, and I could install it myself, it was worth having. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. Comments below. I'm Richard.
Oogog, Ergonog. Daniel Ducky say YouTube gods need long outro so I can tell you comment, like, and subscribe so that this channel can pull trash out of ocean by buying matrices from For Ocean. Also, links to new video now appear. Comment, like, and subscribe, or be cursed by Ugatha. Ducky approves.